And you students are in a very, very exciting Junior Skills Championship. This Junior Skills Championship is to give you insights into different, unusual, exciting, new careers that you may not have thought of in the past, but which are going to be the big careers of the future. And when you do the Junior Skills Championship, you will start exploring in your mind career options that you would require. And since you're going to be leaving the 12th, I advise you to go to www.pearlacademy.com to choose for yourself from the exciting range of career options and therefore creative career that we have. At Pearl Academy, we have 4 schools. We have the School of Fashion, the School of Design, the School of Contemporary Media, and the School of Creative Business. And when you go to our website, www.pearlacademy.com, you will be able to see the exciting array of educational choices in creative professions that we have for you. Pearl Academy is a creative academy, and we give you insights into the new, big, unusual, and very, very lucrative careers of the future in design, in media, in fashion, and in creative business. Don't waste time. Go to our website, count the options, and on the website you will find our phone number. You can talk to our counselors. They're available to talk to you and look for the options that you want. Pearl Academy. Believe, create, achieve.
Yes, friends, this is an introductory video. Welcome to this seminar for Junior Skills Championship organized by Pearl Academy in association with National Skills Development Council. So I'm sure all of you are geared up and you want to know what careers in graphic design are and what is this championship all about? How are you going to go from first level to second? Who are the teachers? Who are your mentors for this championship, which will finally, when you say 2 years from now, this will lead to world skills for all of you. So welcome to this. Let me share some feedback here. Let me share with you my screen. Okay, so welcome to Junior Skills, and this is for classes 11th and 12th. You'll have the first level, which is going to be on 17th of July. Please note down the date. The first level is going to be on 17th of July, where you will have your screening round, which will be a multiple choice question round. 60 questions, 60 minutes. So best of luck for that. The other levels we will explain to you after you have cleared your level 1. Okay, so for now, just know that 17th of July, you will have a link on Curentia where you will sit through these multiple choice questions related to graphic design skill. And we as graphic design technology partners, we will be your mentors right up till the final stage of this competitions. This is an all India competition and there are thousands who have applied for this. So best of luck to everyone who is attending today. What is this graphic design skill all about? What is it a career in graphic design? All of you are in school right now, but for you to understand what you will do, even now you can do many things, but what can you do post class 12? What kind of courses you can join in order to join a flourishing career as a graphic designer? So in graphic design, you need to have strong creative skills and computer skills. Both are extremely important. But overall, graphic design covers game design, photography, animation, motion graphics, and other digital skills. But to start with, at this moment of life where you are, at this stage where you are in academics, we will introduce you to some of the basics of graphic design, which to understand colors, elements and principles of design, and how do you execute using your computer skills, which is primarily the Adobe Creative Package. So your technical inputs that we will give you through our webinars will be related to Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign. So today our session is going to be elements of design. And you have your mentor here, Mr. Manish Agarwal, who is going to take you through this masterclass of elements of design. It's a very interesting session, so please carefully attend this and have your pen and paper ready. You will also have recording of this available. We will share some of the reading material with you post this webinar. Okay. Your test projects, your level 1, I will not talk about 2, 3, and 4 because it's far right now. Level 1 will have 60 multiple choice questions. So get prepared. It is all going to be based on the webinar today and some of the reading material that we will share with you post the webinar. Yes. And here, very basic questions related to softwares that you're using and elements and principles of design. So it's going to be a very basic test, but you still need to know you need to brush up your skills. Just read a little whatever we send you, it will help you. Some of the mock test papers are also uploaded by the Junior Skills on the Junior Skills website. You could log on to that also and check out what kind of questions, what are the levels of the question. It will help you. What are the resources or requirement that you will need to take this first test? The first test, you will not need anything except the laptop or your mobile phone or a tab, okay? And an internet connection. And questions will be basic, as I already explained to you. So you will have 60 minutes to answer 60 questions. Without wasting more time, I will request Manish Agarwal sir here to please take over the session and explain to you what your level 1 test, what is the curriculum of level 1 test, and the first topic, that is elements and principles of design. So guys, welcome to this Junior Skills Championship and best of luck to you, all of you. Manish sir, over to you.
So good morning, everyone. Good morning, learners. So today we'll go through a very interesting session of element design, which is a very important part of graphic design. And they're very basic elements, but you know, they all are really important.
Your voice is not very clear. It's little soft, so maybe speak little. We're not able to hear
Okay,
you.
so I think it's okay now. Okay.
Yeah.
So learners, let me share my screen so that we start and take you through a journey in graphic design. So hope my screen is visible. So guys, as we start with the elements of design, I just want to tell you some important aspect of it. We have a very interesting session which will be covering lots of things which are important for design, for graphic design. So first of all, we'll go to an important aspect of design, which is point. You can see lots of point here on the screen, which is means like the dots here. Okay, but what exactly this point is? You know, every line start with a point, isn't it? So isn't it an interesting fact? But what exactly this point is? So we need to know. So what is a point in graphic design? So there is point to everything. whatever we convert, so there should be a point for discussion. So there is a point for graphic design. So what it is, point is the first and simplest element of visual design. It's just a dot. Everything starts from there. Your painting, your graphics, your line, and your any kind of visual essence, it start with that. Then point serve as the focus of something visual and therefore draws attention. It really draws in attention, guys. Very important thing. We have blank canvas. So what blank canvas means is, it means nothing. But if we just put a dot on it, it could be black, it could be any color, or it could be in strokes, it could be like a finished dot, but it explains something, isn't it? So even if there is only one point or one mark on a blank page, our brains will make it mean something. We start thinking something, what is there on the page, what it means. And many times there are artists who just make a canvas and then just put a point on a canvas, and they say what they say it, lonely, alone, okay, or dominating. What these things means a lot. So point locates a position in space or on the canvas. And in graphic design, a point takes on the form as a dot, which is a perceivable mark. So it perceives many things. Every point, every dot, every visual sense got a different meaning, different perceptions. So a series of points from a line as an assemblage of points make a texture, shape, or plane. When we do points like in a series, it creates a line. And if it creates a series of dots, it might create a beautiful textures, or we can create a different shapes through that points, like the making these points in different variables. Okay, now you see a visual here. It's a very interesting visual, a graphic just with the points. All these are points. You can see going up in the form of lines, creating lines, but all are points in different forms. Some are bold, some are light, and they are creating lots of shades also. See guys, such an interesting things we can create just from a point, a main aspect of graphic design. So isn't it interesting to see these kind of graphics coming up just from putting point through pens, through sketch pens, through pencils, and creating a nice composition out of it. Okay, so we move further. So after point, the one of the most aspect of graphic design is the line. Without line, there is nothing we can do much in graphic design. We just put a paper, just put a line on the paper. So these are the different aspect, and these are very important. Okay, so you can see here the line, horizontal line, single line, two line, and through lines, a shape is being created. So this is a fun of these kind of elements. And we move further. So what is lines? It's not only the line we just put on the paper, but it got different, many significant of that line. Okay, what line do? It create emphasis. Emphasis means because it makes our eyes to see on the canvas, on the paper. Okay, guys, you must have seen, if you put a line on a paper, your eyes just go on that paper and stick on that, what exactly that line means. So there must be some meaning to it. So all design elements so line creates all design element into a form. It gives a form to your design. Generally, we don't think about lines that much, but we make use of them quite often to visually communicate our objective to the user. So it's very important, guys. You must be doing lots of diagrams in your school and all. To mention your diagram, you put a line on it, isn't it? So that lines means something. No, you write something about your subject, like you draw something in biology or something in physics, and I'll just put a line and say about it. Oh, it is a like anther, it is a petal or something like that. So this is the significance of line. Then very interesting part of it is lines. How many types of lines we have? So there are vertical lines, horizontal lines, diagonal lines. What vertical lines means? So they are, the lines which are heighted. Vertical lines simulate height and can create a mood of grandeur or spirituality. Why? Because they are standing lines. Standing lines, what it means, they dominate. Okay, so very important. Every, as you can see the graphic behind these vertical lines, you can see the lines, vertical motion, but in various tones. Okay, then we come to horizontal lines. So what it means, horizontal lines generally create relaxation or a calming mood. So horizontal, it's sleeping line. So sleeping means calm, quiet. Okay, relaxation. So we can commemorate lots of meaning through these lines only in our graphic design, which makes our designs more aesthetically beautiful, and they got a meaning out of it. Okay, so horizontal lines are tend to be quiet and subtle, whereas vertical lines are more imposing and powerful, isn't it? So whenever we put a vertical line, it's more dominating and all, but horizontal lines are calm, steeping. Okay, then horizontal lines are also known for their ability to organize content. So what it means? It means whenever we do something like we put some kind of a content, some kind of a writing on a paper, you just put a line beneath it. So what it do? It balance the content. The entire page is balanced just putting a horizontal line. So see how important aspect this horizontal line have in our graphic design. Okay, then we come to diagonal lines. So what diagonal lines are? So diagonal lines are the greatest way to create movement and direction. Guys, again, I come to your basic diagrams and composition you create in your schools and all. So whenever you do your diagram, you put a lines like this, diagonal line like this or something to commemorate what it says. So that takes attention. Okay, so where horizontal lines such as gravity and are stable, diagonal lines are more unstable. Why? Because they're going diagonally. They're not like this, they're not like this, not vertical, not horizontal. So these lines don't lay down or stand up in a restful position. So diagonal lines are not restful. Why? Because of its motion. Okay, that we need to understand. And diagonal lines really helps a lot in doing beautiful graphic designs. Okay, you can see just the background, just see background of my slide here in diagonal lines. You will see how beautiful these lines look. And they help a lot in composing your interesting designs. Okay, and after these three lines, we go to, there are curved lines. So what it means? Curved lines create familiarity and comfort. They also suggest relaxation. Curved lines are very easy on the eyes and are interesting to follow. Why they're easy on the eyes? Because they are again flowing. It got a flowing kind of a moment. Okay, and we can associate these with nature or in an organic form. See the curved lines you can see at the background. Very organic form is being created through the curved lines. And then we have thin lines. So very interesting. Thin lines are very subtle. They are fragile, and they are not annoying to our eyes. It keeps the viewer very comfort. Okay, and give you a feeling of tranquility and spirituality. Thin lines. You can see at the background again why I'm saying you, because it's been created to tell you what exactly these lines means and how they look. So they're very subtle, fragile, calming to our eyes, and they looks good in our graphics. Many times we use thin lines just to compose our pages. Okay, just to balance our pages and graphics. So then we move to thick lines. So what it means, thick lines are visually powerful on the canvas. If we just put a bold thick line on the canvas, or I just go and strike there, and we can see what exactly an artist or a graphic designer want to tell about the design. So they represent power and respect. So guys, see the interesting aspect that every line got a different meaning. You can denote your feelings through these lines on a canvas or a graphic, just putting these lines in a different forms. So isn't it interesting? So the use of thick lines can build a feeling of power and boldness. So wherever the topic is power, boldness, or something related to strength, those thick lines could be used. So however, the overuse of thick lines can be very overwhelming and way too demanding. So we can't use much of thick lines, but yes, wherever they got a meaning, we can use them. You can see on this page also how calming these curved lines are, thin lines are, but suddenly when you see the background of thick lines, they become more powerful. Okay, now see here the graphic here, which is commemorated through all the lines. You can see the vertical lines, diagonal lines, the curved lines. Okay, and the composition also. So this is just being created through different lines. So see these curved lines are there. We can see the vertical lines going, diagonal lines going, and creating a composition out of it. Okay, a black and white composition, just putting through lines and filling black ink into it. So guys, you can do so many things just from the lines. Okay, so as we move further, you can see another aspect, a very interesting graphic here, which is commemorating your points, which we have discussed before, then your lines. So it is an amalgamation of both the aspects of points and the lines, with very interesting points here and the lines here. So hope you are getting it, and we move further. Okay, so as we move further, just see the graphic, how it looks. I think it looks good to your eyes. There are lots of, the space which is appealing to our eyes and which looks good. So this is how the graphics are being created through these element of design. See, we have just taken two elements of design, but we have come out with something interesting out of it. So this is how we go. Then we come to shape, another very interesting aspect of element design. You can see here, you can see the shapes, square, okay, and a circle and a polygon. So very interesting. But what exactly this shape means, it is not only these shapes, but it got a vast annotation of these things. So what is the shape? Shape is one of the basic element of design. It is very basic element of design. Alone or in combination, they can convey universal meanings and organize information. Very important aspect, very basic element, but shape is a very, very important aspect of design and graphics. So shapes again come in different forms. So circular shape, circular shapes are there, square shapes are there, triangle shapes are there, hexagon, pentagon, hectagon, octagon, many shapes, and organic shapes also. But every shape got a different meaning and different aspect of it for your graphic design. You can see the page, how nicely the graphic design is being done. So no basic shape is more organic than the circular, obviously, because it doesn't have any kind of cuts. So isn't it an interesting shape? And this shape, every day we go with this shape. Or tires are round. We used to have CDs and all round kind of shapes we use every day and we see every day. Okay, so and they're more appealing to eyes. So adding circular elements can turn a blend design into something that breathes life. So doing these kind of shapes into a graphic design with blending into it, so it might give you design a good looks. So this is aspect of circular shapes. Then we come to squares and rectangles. So square and rectangles are very edgy, isn't it? So they got edges, but the psychological emotions that are conveyed by these shapes are reliability, familiarity, strength, stability, power, balance, and dependability. Why these? Because of his character of edginess, because of the character of its fullness. Okay, combine all these shapes, so it gives you a beautiful design coming out of it. When we compose them equally, okay, then we move further, which is a triangle. So you can see the triangle here.
I think there is
Hello,
some.
Aparna, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
There is some connectivity issue, so I'm right here. I think I can just take it forward. If Manish sir can stop sharing, I think. Yes. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I'll just open the presentation myself. So there are some questions that I can see. Very interesting questions. Free software. Okay, let me just answer that question. Free software is not something that we will tell you to do, because free software has a lot of issues. As such, something that I use on my phone is called Snapseed. Maybe that is something that you can use. I am just opening the presentation and just give me 1 second, please. Yeah. Am I here? Can you hear me? You guys were on lines, horizontal lines, shapes, circular shapes, squares and rectangles. Yes. Okay. So squares and rectangles, basically, they have the squares and rectangles in many cultures actually also mean stability, because if you put a square on a plane piece of plane, it doesn't fall, right? So squares and rectangles also, show stability, reliability, familiarity, strength. That is very, very interesting in lots of cultures, like even in ancient cultures, like, in the cultures of Mayan civilization, in the cultures of Indian civilization, in some Celtic civilizations, all these shapes have taken, inspiration from that time, and how it represents certain things. Then let's come to triangles. Um, I hope you're able to see this. Okay, so triangles are dynamic, they convey conflict or strength, but I'll tell you something very interesting. Triangles also become hexagons, that is possibly the perfect shape in nature. So as you know, beehives are made out of hexagons. If footballs are made out of a hexagon and pentagon combination, they fit together perfectly. Okay, that is very, very interesting about triangles. Triangles, when they form into hexagons. Now, the thing is that these are not the only shapes, right? You must have studied in geometry. Hexagons, polygons, trapeze, all of them, when you put them in permutation combination, they actually form various designs. So I'm just giving an example. For example, this one. So when you are looking at it, you're looking at circles that have been formed with lines, with dots. Different elements have been used to form a certain design, right? So this becomes very important when you are looking at design from a perspective of shapes. Okay, all these elements that you have studied right now, you have studied dot, you have studied line, you have studied shapes. I'm just going to go into the woe of shapes also. Now look at the way FedEx logo has been designed to have a positive negative shape. Then we come to form. Okay, form is basically three-dimensional shape. If you were to change two-dimensional shape into a three-dimensional, then it becomes a form. Let's give an example. For example, a cylinder, if you look at it just in two dimensions, it is a rectangle. But when you are looking at it in third dimension, when you add the third dimension, which is the Z dimension, then it becomes like a cylinder. Okay. So first dimension, second dimension, and the third dimension is the Z dimension, and then it takes a form. Okay. So I'm just showing you, this is something that has been done with paper. This has not been done with pencil. This has been done with paper, where paper has been put into a form thing. And if you see this little place, you can see 1, 2, 3 shapes that are formed into a form. It has formed a 3D shape, right? Now let's come to texture. Texture is a very important part of elements of design, because it not only gives you a visual feel, it also gives you a sensory feel. Okay, so a black is a solid texture. If you look at this, even if you know that this has been done with a pen, you almost feel that it is a little, rough, right? Similarly, if you look at this, it is a little fluid, right? So this, the form of texture with just visual elements with texture, makes a whole lot of difference in the way you perceive the thing, because it gives you a feel that this is what it's going to feel like in your hands, right? If you put it in your skin, this is what it will feel like, right? Texture is the appearance, the feel of the surface, and it can create a variety in the room, right? Okay. Now, the way in which shapes are arranged can form textures. Now, look at this shape. So there are various forms of triangles, trapeziums, squares that have formed together to form this texture. But you can easily feel that this is a broken glass or broken cement. You can almost feel it, right? You can almost feel that agar isko main touch karenge, if you touch this, it's going to break apart, right? There are two types of textures. One is a tactile texture and a visual texture. A tactile texture is that you can feel by rubbing your hand over it, okay? And a visual texture is that you can see but you cannot feel, like fire, okay? Fire is something that you cannot, if you touch it, you will not be able to feel it, but there is fire. You can actually see that there is a texture of fire. The different shapes are moving around, right? Okay, so this is a very tactile texture, the one that is in this, which has been made with a twisted paper. However, behind it is a visual texture. You can see the difference, but you can actually not feel that there is a difference in texture. Okay, the texture can communicate different feelings in a room. Rough and hard textures can make you feel more casual. For example, denims. Think about Levi's jeans and denims, right? They can actually feel very, very, like, you know, it's a casual feel. Soft and smooth textures can make you like, you know, feel formal. So for example, if you go to like exclusive showroom, you can actually feel that there is a, oh, these are soft texture, there is silk, you know, silk, satin, all of this is part of the texture feel. Yeah. Now let's come to color. There is a CMYK color. I'm so sorry. I moved ahead. Yeah, there is CMYK color, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Please note this down. This might come in your question paper. CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. They can come together to form various images. This is a monochromatic color palette. You can see the use of cyan and yellow a lot in this design. So, okay, then there is a value of colors. What is the value of colors? Value of colors is done in shades and tints. When the hue is, say for example, cyan, magenta, yellow, or black, if you add more black to it, then it becomes a shade. If you add more white to it, then it becomes a tint. Okay. Hi, Manisa. Welcome back. I think internet was a problem. Okay. The value is basically the lightness or darkness of the color. Okay. So when, like I said, shade is when you add black to it, and tint is when you add white to it.
We have to close this webinar in next.
Yes, we are just done. I think we are just done. Okay. The last is space. I think space is very important because positive and negative space can make all the difference in a design. Sometimes when you say minimalism, you say negative space. There should be more negative space. When you want to keep something really busy, then you need to have less negative space. So look at this negative space. If you look at the white, that is a badminton, you know, made out of the negative space. You can just see how shapes can be made into negative space. Okay, you can see the circle despite the fact that there are no lines that are connecting here. Okay, you can see that this is a square despite the fact that there is only 4 triangles at the edge of it. That's the magic of negative space. Okay, how you can create designs through negative space. Look at how positive and negative space has made into this beautiful zebras, right? You've also seen probably something like this, which is again a positive and negative space. See these 2 bears that are hugging. One is a positive space, one is a negative space. And we are ending it right here. We are ending the elements of design right here. There are lots of elements of design that you can also study that will be provided in the study material as well, of course. But you should remember these basic ones because they are the most important. And please remember to count on these when you are going to go into your test papers. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, our mentors, Manish sir and Aparna ma'am. Thank you so much. And maybe we will end it here. Most of the questions have been answered in the chat box. However, to prepare for your level 1 test, which is happening on 17th of July, Please refer to this presentation as well as some reading material which will be there on the NSDC's website. And you already have Pearl Academy's website link, www.pearlacademy.com/junior skills, and you will have a lot of reading material and recordings there as well. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for now. And the counselors, if there are any questions, please feel free to put down your numbers here and so that students can contact you directly. Thank you so much, Rosha.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So the next webinar starts in a couple of minutes, and School of Fashion will take that webinar. That's for your skills related to fashion design.
Good morning, everyone.
So that this G recording is separate and then we start the FP
Yeah.
recording.
Thank you, Meha.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Meha.
Thank
Thank you, Vivek sir.
Thank you, Mauricio sir. Thank you, Vida.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
Aparna.
you. Bye-bye.
So Arish, do you want us to disconnect and reconnect, or you are able to stop the recording?
So actually, better option is we rejoin again because recording will continue same.
Okay.
Can
So
we
if
add
any,
again? Try to-
no problem. So if any of the students are here for the fashion technology one, please disconnect now and reconnect in 1 minute.